7 p.m. Eastern time. BTC 84.9442, right? So as you can see on the screen. So in today's content, we're going to discuss our possible target to the downside and a possible reversal to the upside, right? As you can see, we talked about it like I think last time we talked about BTC was like Friday, right? The 15th, right? I think, right? So we said like we're going to be moving sideways within the next 24 to 48 hours, just because the next 3 days candle going to start on the 18th, right? So which is like has already started, because you know the daily time frame has already started. So I just wanted to started a new live stream, right? So you can see we basically came back to our original target, which was like 83.50. We came back to it twice, and we were targeting like 83.50 to 81.50. We got a rejection right at 83.50. Got another rejection right at 83.50, but we're still looking for a move down to this blue box, right? It could be a quick sell-off down to this area, or we might miss it by getting a heavy support right around like 82 to 81, but we're gonna start laddering position right around 81.50, right? So let's see how it is gonna work out, at least for the short term, because we've been pretty much very bearish all along this area, and we haven't taken any long position. And then I don't see the need to take a long position right now, especially in this area. Okay, I don't see the need to take any long position until we get at least into this green box or this red box. It is going to be safer, but we also have to manage risk in terms of BTC like dropping down and crushing all these two boxes, and then go all the way down like to mid 75 to 73. It is something we're going to talk about on a bigger time frame, right? But we just going to see how it is going to play out, right? We're just going to see how it is going to play out. So let's take a look at the daily time frame. So when you take a look at the daily time frame on the Heikin, we still don't have any sign of reversal. BYBIT candles still getting some wick to the upside, but not strong enough. You can see like we managed to the bears managed to push to the upside all the way up to 8600, 8638 on BYBIT, but got rejected. Now we still like facing some more sell-off. So it's been like almost over like 10 days of selling pressure on the Heikin. When people have been talking about like BTC going to go to 11K in 10 days, it gave us this 10-day setup. So we just have to be extremely cautious in regard like what do we want to digest, right, regarding whatever they want to feed us, right, in case in terms of like a bullishness. So the weekly time frame still extremely bearish, but the momentum should be changing very shortly. Okay, and you can see on you can see like we talked about this 0.618, which is like the log base 0.618. We double bottom right at it. Okay, so if like we break this log scale fib retracement, the next level we're going to be looking for, it is like a 78.50, right? But we might not get straight down to 78.50. That's why I said like we might get a wick in this area. That's where the red box is, right here, like 81.50. Roughly around this area, 81.50 to 78.50. We can take a nice entry, a probable double bottom before pushing to the upside, and get a rejection somewhere around like 50% to 0.618%, right, of this move to the downside. So that's our strategy. Right now it is dropping. If you're shorting BTC, I mean you got a good case. I just for some reason, after like 10-12 days of red candles, I'm not just comfortable of shorting BTC from this current state, right? But let it drop to our target, it is safer, because if we get a reversal in this area, we're just gonna have to sit like on the 400, 500, 600 points red before we see any reversal, and it could take like a week to sit on those redness. So I think it is just safer to wait for a 400 points drop and then take it to the upside. Sometimes the wait can be very long, but it is trading, guys. You just have to be patient. I know it's not easy, waiting for your target like for 3, 4, 5, 6 days to get, but at the same time you have to remember, either you're gonna sit red or you're gonna sit on red, or you're gonna sit on green. So you have to choose like which one you want to sit on, right? So that's where like the patience gonna come into play, right? So basically that's the only thing we got on the daily candle. Let's move on to the 3 days candle. the 3 days candle, you can see it like the new candle just started. It is looking engulfing, but it is just because, like, you know, we don't have any volatility, and the way the Heikin-Ashi is calculated, it takes into account like the previous datas. That's why you're seeing like a big engulfing candle right now, but it is not what it is, right? Because the daily candle just let's see, this one on the 18th, yeah, this one just started the 18th, right? This one was the 15th. So like I said, you know, we're going to get high volatility starting on the 15th through the 21st. It's going to be very volatile, and you guys, you can see the volatility already. These are 300 points move up and down, right? But price is not going anywhere. It's just moving within the same range. So it is not something you want to mess with unless you're scalping or you know what you're doing, right? So the 3 days candle, very engulfing, nothing bullish. I don't see the reason why we should be long in it right now. I really don't see it. You can take a look at the MACD. Very interesting MACD, both on the daily, both on the 3 days and then on the 2 days, right? You can see the 2 days MACD. We're about to get this curvature. We already got it, right? So we got this move on the MACD. Let me change the color to, let's say, change it to, we got this curvature move. Let's change it to green. Okay, so this move is not bullish, and it's gonna take some time for this move to switch, like switch momentum like this, right? It's going to take some time to switch momentum like this. So hopefully, you know, before the end of the month, we're going to get high volatility enough to avoid this crossover. Because if like we get this crossover, it means like we most likely could be dropping all the way down to mid 75 or all the way down to mid 75 or like low 7K. So we just have to pay that. We just have to pay special attention. Even though our target is like a 78 to 81.50 in that range. A 300 points drop is very probable, so don't go all in. Okay, manage your position. Okay, if you're shorting right now, it's dropping, you can short it down to 8K, and then for some reason my phone is not on, so you can short it down to 8K, take your profit, and look for a reversal pattern in our target. You don't have to start buying at 81.50. You can just we can just like you know, ladder position 81.50, 8K, 78.50, you know, even like down to 77.50. It all depends on you, right? But the most probable scenario is like a drop. Okay, it's like a drop. You can do whatever you want with it down to that area. Okay, just manage it well. Just manage it well. I was actually myself was looking for a short at 86.25, but I got out last night because of the big push. But I was going to bed. I was like, let me just take it out because it can push like to 88, and I don't want to see 200 points red. So I just took it out. But when I woke up, I saw like it went to 86.38 on 86.38 on BYBIT. So pay attention to the 3 days. So let's move on to the 2 days. The 2 days MACD. You can see the 2 days MACD. The momentum has been lost. We lost the momentum. This crossover, you know, we could get this crossover very soon if BTC drop below certain key level. Okay, we most likely going to get this crossover. And if you go back and take a look at the 3 days MACD, the 2 days MACD, whenever we get a crossover, we at least get a 10 to 13% drop. Okay, if we back test it, okay, we back test this MACD, you can see we got a crossover in this area. You can see we dropped like 22%, right? And then before that, we got another crossover at the top, like right around 12K, right? At this 12K level in this area, we got this crossover. We got another 23% drop. So you can see even like a 5K level, 5500 level, this one. So we got another, you know, 18% drop. So this crossover, but I haven't seen a crossover on the negative side. Okay, I don't have enough data to say like, oh, on the negative side we're gonna get a 20% drop, right? But we got one in this area, but that was the 6K level. Okay, that's a 6K level last year. When we got the negative crossover, when we got the crossover on the negative side, we got like a 50% drop. So we just have to be extremely cautious. Even though we're looking to enter at 81 to 78, don't go all in. Manage your position. and be risk free, okay, and do not get out of this position red. That's the most important. Okay, that's the most important. That's the most important. So the 2 days chart is very scary. We just have to pay clear attention to it. It is very aggressive. All right, very aggressive. But we're gonna play safe and wait for it and then see how it is gonna play out. All right. So once again, if you're looking to short it, if you're watching, feel free to short it from this area of 8,500 down to 8K. And take your profit and look how it is going to play out, and then take a look for the long position. Okay, the rest of the market is looking for a long position. Everybody is looking for BTC to pump like from 8,500 to 11K. So I guess like we're the only the few in the in the market looking for a drop down to 8K or 7,800. So let's move on to the 12-hour bar. The 12 hours it's not looking good at all. We got a rejection week last night, as you can see. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was looking for a short opportunity, a scalping from 86.25, but I decided to get out and went to bed, and then I woke up and see like a BTC hit like a 86.38. I was like, oops. But at least I wasn't sitting in the red, right? So the 12 hours extremely bearish. Hakanashi 12 hours. We got a reversal pattern, but this reversal pattern did not hold because we cannot keep up like a healthy momentum. You can see we needed to keep like a smooth tail, but we're not getting any smooth tail. So this is extremely bearish. Okay, similar to the same pattern we got in this area on the 12, right? You can see we got big reversal pattern, but the next Hakanashi 12 hours bar was not good enough. Okay, we got a reversal pattern, big push. The next 12-hour bar was not good enough. So the current 12-hour bar could be very volatile, and it could give us like some selling pressure to the downside. I don't see anything bullish on BTC, to be honest. Nothing. Okay, I don't see anything bullish. And I said it even when BTC was like 9,300. That's when we say nothing is bullish about BTC. So let's move on to the 6 hour. The only thing now we're starting to see like some bullishness on the low degree. The MACD crossing over on the 6 hours. Most of the time it is extremely powerful, but it all depends like on other indicators. I like the MACD on the 6 hour to cross over and give me a nice vertical line. Okay, a nice vertical line. So if like we can get the MACD cross this MACD to sustain like this momentum like this, like for like at least a good 24 hours to 48 hours, just like this, while price is moving sideways, that's going to be extremely bullish. Okay, we could be we could be like even going long, right? But we have to get this momentum. Okay, we have to get this momentum and cross this on the 6 hours, right? We have to cross this area. Okay, we already have to cross this area cleanly. All right, we already crossed it, but it has to be clean. Okay, it has to be clean. So a big move is coming very shortly. Okay, a big move is coming very shortly. So regarding price action on the 6 hours, also we got our reversal pattern on the Hakanashi. Like I said, the Hakanashi could not maintain a healthy momentum either on the 6 hours. You can see we got a reversal pattern right here, right? I saw it. I think on the 17th, I saw this one and I was like, man, we about to push to the upside, and then I was like, just let's wait. Okay, let's wait. And then I put a short opportunity for scalping in this area. I missed it. It's okay, but you can see now it is a reversal pattern. Okay, it is a reversal pattern to the downside now, to the downside. But can we go back and test like 50% of this week? Yes, we can go back up to like 8,600 just to retest like a 50% of this rejection. All right, just like that, right? Before not this one, but this one right here, the one at 86.38 level. So we can go back and retest it maybe like the next few hours or so, and then before selling off. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be bullish at all. It is just going to be a retest, basically, just like I said. Okay, just a retest. So let's move on to the 4-hour time frame now. All right, 4 hours time frame, nothing bullish, guys. We're starting to lose momentum also on the 4 hour. We could get this curvature, like if like the 4 hours drops, the MACD on the 4 hours give us this move, a possible double bottom in this area, and we could get this divergence on the MACD. We could, you know, at least hit our target of 8K, and then you know, we can look for this move to the upside, a possible retest of 91 to 89 to 92 level. It all depends like where the bottom gonna be at, because I'm looking for 50% to 0.618 pullback. So it all depends. We cannot say like, hey, we're just gonna go back to 9K or something like that, right? So all my entry is based on like most of them based on either resistance or like a fib retracement, right? Or like some moving averages. But like depending where we stop right around this area, we're gonna look for 50% and 0.618, a possible rejection at 0.786, but just to be safe, we're gonna look for 50% and 0.618, right? And we haven't even talked about Elliott wave perspective yet, so it's gonna be very interesting, right? Yes, it is quite interesting. Like I said, guys, if you're shorting right now, you should be in good hands. Okay, you should be in good hands. So basically, now let's dive into the Elliott wave perspective, and then the RSI, we haven't talked about it. The weekly, we already discussed the weekly. It is extremely bearish. We said it like a couple of weeks ago. Most people are not paying attention to the bigger time frame, the weekly and monthly, but we've been making some lower highs, very you know, basically very bearish. Okay, very bearish. Okay, yeah, let's move on to the weekly first. You take a look at the weekly, we got a big engulfing candle, right? So in order to stay I don't know how to say it, but it is extremely bearish, man. I just don't see how people are calling this like a bull flag. That is not a bull flag, man. Yes, you can say a channel, but this channel we still can. You can see like on the weekly, if you take a look at this channel on the weekly time frame, you can see we still got a chance to drop low. Okay, even if you just draw your channel, you can see like how the type of chance we got like to drop down to our target of 8K on this week. So if we drop down to 8K this week, we might not even hit like 9K this week. Okay, if we drop like down to 878 to 8K, it's gonna be very reversing. Like I showed you, if we drop down to 8K and then we have to reverse, then it means we're gonna have to leave a big wick, right? And then price has to go all the way up to like 88. So we're gonna get this type of reversing candle on the weekly time frame. So something like this, okay, something like this. So, and I don't think that we got enough momentum to do that. We could, but I don't think that we got enough momentum to do that. So we're just gonna, you know, sit tight maybe on the position for like a very long time, but we're just gonna have to be cautious. We're just gonna have to be cautious. But if like we get it, it'll be great. But if like we drop down to you know, 78.50 with this week, it means like, you know, we're just gonna have to wait for at least another week before, you know, before getting this correction. Okay, before getting this correction. But the weekly is extremely bearish. The monthly extremely bearish. Like we said, we keep making some lower highs on the monthly. On the weekly, you know, of course, right, we're making some lower highs just like this. If you look at it, it is a descending triangle. Depend how you look at it, but the monthly descending triangle is extremely bearish. Okay, it is extremely bearish. Dropping down to this area of 74 to 7500 is very probable. Okay, it's very probable this month. Okay, this month we can drop down, or next month. Okay, it really doesn't matter, but we could drop down to these areas. A possible next month push back up to like 87 before getting this wick to the downside. Okay, this nasty move to the downside. Most people are not paying attention to the bigger picture. I keep saying it. When I was calling BC down to late August, I was calling BC like a 5.5. That was like late August. This month, okay, that was a month. That's this month, like right around like August 28th. I was saying like a September and October going to be very volatile, and you can see it. Okay, so we have to pay attention to like a December and January, a possible drop down all the way down to like a 5K level. All right, so just have to pay attention. That's why we don't need to go all in right now and try to be greedy, and then we could be facing like several challenges along the way. It is bearish, guys. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It is extremely bearish. Okay, you take a look at this. It is extremely bearish. All right, but most people are not paying attention to it. Okay, you're hardly gonna see like somebody talking about like the weekly, the monthly descending triangle. Okay, everybody's talking about the falling wedge on the lower degree, right? The 4-hour time frame, but it is very irrelevant when you're talking about the weekly time frame, right? So let me take a look at the chat room before I talk about the Elliott wave perspective. So everybody's, most people are focusing on this area. Yes, we got to focus on the lower degree, but on the bigger picture, once you pay attention to the bigger picture, you're not going to focus too much on the lower degree about these 200 point, 300 points, right? So and I think Zay Nuno mentioned about the 21 days candle looking like the August 2018, right? Not the August. Last time we talked about on the live stream, I thought he meant like August, this August, okay, August 18th, but he meant August 2018. And I was taking a look at it. It is pretty much very similar, okay, very similar to August 2018. August 2018 21 days candle. So we're gonna talk about the Elliott wave perspective, right? So what does it mean like on the Heikin Ashi, right? That's what is he talking about? He's basically saying, if you take a look at the structure we got in this area, right? You cannot look at it one-to-one because like in terms of time frame, it's not the same. Just cause like this one is this bull market was bigger and this bull market is shorter, so the basically in terms of time frame it cannot be one-to-one, right? He's basically saying this section we could be getting that section in this area, and basically a heavy sell-off to the downside, which is what I was just showing you on the monthly, right? We can make this move and drop all the way down to like a 5K or so, right? 5,500 to 5K level. So basically he's right. You take a look at this move right here, we could get it in this area, okay? We could get it in that area. So we just have to be extremely cautious. And we talked about all of these stuff, like guys, when BTC was that was back in October. We talked about all of this stuff, but one of these candles to go back all the way up to 10.4 to 10.5, right? You guys remember when we said like we got a chance to go back all the way up to 10.4 to 10.5 at some point, right? So, and we did that exactly. We did that exactly. Hey, what's up, H2O, Hank, Ash? Hey, what's up, Ash? Ash in the house. Iceman in the house. Regular candles. Also on the regular candles, on the regular candles, we don't have it on the regular candle. It's not similar, okay? On the regular candle, that's the move I was expecting right here, and we did get it, but we didn't get an engulfing. It just got rejected. This move, we talked about it like we talked about this move long time ago, like back in roughly around we started talking about it like, yes, October, the month of October. We said like the month of October could go all the way up to 10.4, but it didn't. So we said like, okay, next month we could get it, but it just came too fast, and then we got it in this area, this type of tweezer in this area, right? So, but if you take a look at the on the 21 days on the regular candle, it doesn't look like it, right? It's not. I don't think it's the same, right? It is not the same. But on the Heikin Ashi, you can argue it is the same, right? It is the same. Maybe I need to take a look at it again and see what you're talking about. But yes, you could say, okay, we got this rejection, and that is that rejection, and we could move like sideways for 42 days, which is like two 21 days candles before dropping, right? So you could argue that, okay? You could make that argument, okay? This red candle, rejection, sideways, bang, right? Bang. So, yeah. So, but on the regular candles, I really don't see it. I need to pay attention to it again. I need to pay. But on the Heikin-Ashi, of course, I see what you, if that's what you meant, right? July, August, this one we could get it, right? All right, and then we get this one September. So extremely bearish, guys. Extremely bearish. All right. So let's go ahead on the lower degree, and now we talk about the Elliott wave perspective. Okay, on the Elliott wave perspective, we said like we needed a 3-wave move down. We got this 3-wave move down this way, this move 1, 2, 3, and as we said before, right? We said we could okay. Okay, we said we could be making this 3-wave move down, right? On the bigger picture, right? We said as soon as we got this drop, what we said we're gonna get a 3-way, another move to the upside. We got this move, and we said like we're gonna be dropping down. Yes, we're getting all these moves to the downside. Everything we've been looking for, basically, we haven't missed anything regarding our Elliott wave perspective, right? The Elliott wave perspective is like 85 to 90% completed. So we're only looking for 300 points drop, 300 to 400 points drop. That's the only thing we're looking for. But it is like, you know, 85 to 90% completed to hit our target. And then after we get this 3-wave move, we're going to be looking for another 3-wave move up, right? So basically, let me just use this ABC correction, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to be looking for this. At some point, we're going to be looking for 1, 2, and 3. The 3-wave, it can be anyhow. I'm just saying like it is going to be a correction, but I'm not sure what type of correction it is going to be. It can be like this, right? 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 So we just have to be extremely cautious, because like let's say we long in basic, it goes all the way up to 92, drop back down to 83, and go back up to 91. Okay, 91 to 90, still going to be a correction. So we just don't care about what type of correction. We just want to hit our target. But once we hit our target, we have to be extremely cautious, because once we hit our target, we're going to try to short it all the way down to like a 72, and then it's going to rebound back. So that's why one of the reasons we just have to be cautious once we hit our target up to like a 88 to 92 level. And if we shorten it down, we just have to exit really quick and secure profit in case it is going to be making a flat correction going back up to a 91, 92 again, right? But we got this move to the upside. So if like we get this move, we're going to get this drop, and then we're going to push to the upside. So the correction might not be done yet. So we just have to be very, very careful. And I said it, we said it like when BC gave us the 3,000 point move. We said like this correction in this area could last, you know, for a very long time, right? So we just have to be very patient. In case like you're looking for a bull market, it could last like for another 30 days. Okay, it could last for another like until like late December to early January before we even see like a nasty drop, right? It could, right? Okay, it could. And I said it when October 26th, right? That's when we said it, and it is already like almost November 20th, right? November 18th. So let's just be very patient, right? And look for a reversal pattern very shortly. Okay, very shortly. We could get this to the low 8K, high 7K, and get this move to the upside, right? With any type of corrective wave. Okay, so the 12 hours, I love to get 12 hours divergence on the 12 hours. It is very powerful. We get a 6 hours. We're getting a 6 hours divergence, right? In this area, you can see it. We got a 6 hours divergence, but I would love to get a 12 hours divergence, which is going to be a very strong move if like we get this move and then push to the upside, right? So this way we're going to get this and push to the upside, right? 6 hours we already got it, right? We already got it, but 12 hours we're missing it. Okay, we're missing it. So which is basically calling for a lower numbers, right? Lower numbers down to this area, right? So basically, on in terms of Elliott wave perspective, we know what we're looking for. In terms of candles, 3 days candle, we know what we're looking for. In terms of 2 days candle, we know what we're looking for. We talk about the MACD, we talk about the RSI, we talk about the MACD on the 3 days, we talk about the MACD on the 2 days, we talk about the Elliott wave, we talk about the 21 days candle, weekly candle, monthly descending triangle. Basically 90% of the pattern, everything we talked about is extremely bearish in terms of both medium term and long term. Okay, BTC pushing back up to 9K. It's not, it doesn't mean like we're on a bull market. Okay, so because we're looking for it anyway. So if we get it, it doesn't mean we're going to the upside, right? It doesn't mean like we're going to the upside. And one thing I wanted to mention to you guys, like, you guys remember when BTC pushed to the upside October 13th 2018, this move, we got like a similar sideways correction in this area, right? And I talked about it like on the 25th. If you go back and watch my public live streams, you can see, like I was mentioning, this wick to the upside. Okay, you can see it, similar move, similar volume, and I said like that was the biggest fake out, the mother of all fake out. Okay, that's the name of the YouTube, I mean the video on YouTube, right? The mother of all fake outs. So you can see similar big move like October 13th, right? Let's see. Yes, October 13th, October 14th, right? Big move, like almost 23% move to the upside. That was the tether third. Okay, this move is very, very important. It always comes into play for some reason, right? So you can see like BTC made the same exact move, and right now, even if you take a look at the correction between the before the move in this area, the correction is pretty much similar. Okay, let me just do it a dual screen. In today we're just gonna focus on BTC. I'm gonna jump in Ethereum and stuff like that, but it is very important because we only got like almost 2 weeks left, so it is good to like get a 2 weeks forecast, right? So that's okay. So you can see this one is like a 2019. I'm going to show you 2018. Okay, that's 2018. Okay, you can see how the correction is pretty much very similar, guys, very similar. You can see, and I mentioned this, guys, like almost like 30 days ago, guys. So when you spend too much time, not too much time, when you spend enough time on the chart, whatever happened, you're gonna get something to say, hey man, we got this. You can see like same exact move, same exact like a dump. You can see the dump we got in this area. You know, we got a dump, a sideways correction, basically a boxing jump, bang to the upside, right? So you go in this area, you can see we got the dump, boxing jump, bang. What do we got? Sideways correction. Okay, sideways correction all the way down, and then we finally got this dump. And when I'm saying like BTC gonna get a dump on a monthly time frame, that's the type of dump I'm referring to also. Okay, that's the type of dump I'm referring also. I know most of us want BTC to go to 100K, 20K, 150K, but you just have to judge the market the way you see it, not the way you want it to be, right? Not the way you want it to be. But if your judgment is wrong, you just have to reassess and say, hey man, next time I'm just gonna be careful in this type of pattern, right? But it is pretty much the same exact fractal, guys, and it is pretty much, you know, a beautiful pattern to pay attention to. Okay, beautiful pattern. That's the one to the right is 2018. The one to the left is 2019. Okay, 2019. A broad question, but how do you handle your leverage position when you go to sleep? It's incredibly tricky with these 500 points move. Okay, how do you handle it? Yes, just do low leverage. That's the only way you can handle it. You remember that you're leveraging you're leveraging more than 1x, right? So yeah, if BTC goes 1%, you got 2%. So if it all depends, like your level of technicality. If you're very skillful, sometimes you can say, okay, you can anticipate these moves. Okay, you're not gonna be able to anticipate every single move, but sometimes, for instance, you can say like, hey, the next 48 hours we most likely not gonna do anything. Like we said, like on Friday we're gonna be in this area of what, 84 to 85, 50, 86, right? And that's what happened, because you just look at the chart and tell. Sometimes you just look at the chart and tell, but you're not gonna be always right. That's why sometimes you put a stop loss. But just do low leverage. Just do 5x, maybe 5x, 3x. If you're going to slip, do 3x. If you don't like it, just leave it and don't do anything, because we're not day trading. We say swing trading basically. If you really take a look at it, we're not looking for the 200 points unless we're scalping. If you're scalping with me, we might be doing 200 points, 150 points, 10x, 15x. But if I'm giving signal, I'm not giving signal for like a 15x, for like a 20x or stuff like that. I'm giving signal for low leverage. If you find somebody giving you signal for 20x's, great, but it is very dangerous. You're gonna run out of fun before 2020. Okay, before 2020, you're not gonna be able to sustain the losses, and unless you Iceman. Okay, if you Iceman, you can do 50x, right, or like 80x, stuff like that. So, but if you send crypto, you just have to be very, very careful and minimize losses. Okay, minimize losses and maximize profit. So basically, just to answer your question, I mean, you're going to slip, do low leverage, 5x. Okay, the trend. The trend is bearish. Okay, we're looking for 8k to 78, right? So if you're shorting, you'll be like, okay, even if you're shorting, I'm just gonna do low leverage, 3k, 5k, I mean not 5k, 3x, 5x. The overall trend is bearish, and I'm gonna put my stop loss very tight, just so I'm not gonna incur any big losses, because the trend is bearish anyway. If I get kicked out, I can just short it higher, right? Those type of stuff. So this type of stuff. Okay, sorry man, if you just like me, when you're asking me a question, just make sure the question is direct and not like a question going around a circle. Just ask a direct question, because sometimes I don't try to understand like what people say. I just read it and understand what they, and answer the question as it is written. I try not to like go around and figure out stuff. So sometimes you just don't have time for that. Like, you just have time for the chart. And so if you ask a question, just make sure it is like clear and straightforward, and I just answer it. And I try to answer it without going around a circle too. just like what I just did. I think I just go around a circle too. Yeah. All right. I mean, 25x, if you know what you're doing, it's not gambling. You gambling when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, you just come and do 25x. But if you calculate your risk, you're in front of your computer, you calculate your risk. Hey, I'm doing 25x. I know BTC is not gonna liquidate me all the way up to 9k. So the trend is bearish. I'm gonna sit on the computer. I'm gonna wait for that 1% drop, and I get my 25% again. You can do that. It's not gambling as long as you know what you're doing. Okay, as long as you calculate your risk, how much you want to lose, and how much you're willing to wait, how long you're willing to wait, right? It's not gambling. All right, Hank. So basically this fractal, let's pay attention to it, guys. I'm extremely bearish and still looking for mid 5k. I said it like back in August, okay, and I said it back in July, right? I said it back in July, I said it back in August, right? So it is a very, very interesting. Okay, so let's basically we talked about BTC, everything we needed to talk about regarding BTC. We already talked about it. One thing we did not mention yet is like the trend line on the weekly, daily or weekly time frame. Okay, the trend line on Bitstamp weekly time frame, it is currently at 5,500, guys. It is at 5,500. Can you imagine? we've been we've been saying it like the growth rate of the Trololo trend line is it is like 1.13%, and we said it like since the Trololo trend line was 4,700, right? BTC was like 12K, and we said like, okay, we're gonna be looking for the BTC to meet the Trololo trend line. Okay, I got a video like on the January 27th, January 27th, right? So excuse me for the whiteboard. Okay. All right, the moon. If you go and put send crypto the moon, send crypto to the moon, not to the moon, but Trololo. Okay, we put some crypto Trololo. Not this Trololo. Okay, send crypto. All right, if you put some crypto and you put Bitcoin at fair valuation, that it was like 9 months ago. Okay, you can see we talked about it. Like I explained to you guys everything you needed to know in this one regarding the Trololo trend line and when BTC bottom. So if you go and watch it, you can see.
Maybe it's a call, a labor of love.
You can see. Let me see. No, thanks. So I talked about it. I talked about it in this video, so you can go and watch it. You can just go and watch it, and then you're gonna see what I'm talking about. And this one, BTC was current price of BTC was like that time was like 35, 36, and the Trololo trend line was like 35, 45, right? And I was calling like BTC has bottomed, and then we most likely gonna, not gonna drop below the Trololo trend line again, right? So go and watch it, and then you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So, but the rest of the market basically calling for 20K and stuff like that, right? So let's move on to Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple XRP, and Bitcoin Cash. Okay, when you take a look at Ethereum on a weekly time frame, you can see even Ethereum, like just on the bigger picture, right? Ethereum is basically making a flag on the bigger picture. So that's just like the weekly time frame. So that's just a flag, and then we just have to get this move to the downside. Okay, this move can be either a double bottom right around 150 to 160 level, but that's not good at all. If like Ethereum gonna drop down, okay, we just have to be extremely cautious, because if Ethereum gonna be dropping down to a double bottom at a 153 to roughly 148 in that level, it's not good at all for BTC. It means that BTC has to drop all the way down to like a low 170. Okay, that's a weekly time frame. So Ethereum has to hold very strong in order for BTC also to hold very strong. But Ethereum target was like 161, 162. So let's see if Ethereum gonna hold this area, another pushback, another pushback to like a 180, 190 before giving us this move to the downside. But as of to now, the weekly time frame for Ethereum is extremely bearish. Okay, it is looking very shortable right now, very shortable. So let's move on to the daily time frame for Ethereum. So you can see the Ethereum daily time frame. We got the necessary correction we are looking for. We got this correction in very impulse way to the upside. This looks like a sort of a bull flag, but when you take a look at it on the daily, on the weekly, it's not a bull flag. It is just a bear flag on the weekly, but bull flag on the daily. So a drop is very probable down to 160. Let's see if 161 on the daily gonna hold, at least for the short term, give us another possible push to the upside before making this move, right? So but Ethereum is it's not looking good at all for the short term, and we said it since Ethereum was like 191. Okay, 191. All right, 191. So we broke this trend line. If you want to play trend line, we already broke it. You could wait for Ethereum to retest it like a 188 or so, or you can just short it right now. I will give a Ethereum target later on, but we already broke this trend line. All right, we already broke it. So target for Ethereum, it is like low 160. Okay, low 160. So that's what we're looking for Ethereum. So this could drop BTC below 7,800. So, but we're just gonna wait and see. That's a 7% drop, so 8% to 10% drop, not bad. Okay, if BTC drop 10%, it's gonna be roughly around like a 77 to 78. 10%. I have to take a look at it. So Ethereum targets 161 to 160, low 160 basically, low 160. So let's move on to our Litecoin. Litecoin similar move, extremely bearish. When Litecoin was right around this area, we said like what this descending, this triangle was kind of, you could argue it's a descending, but we got a fake out, right? So we said like if we break this area of descending triangle to the upside, right, you could look for your retracement of roughly 1.27, right? It was 1.27 to 1.4, 1.27 to 1.41, was like 166 to 168 in that range. And you can see Litecoin went up to like a 66, not 166, but once it went up to like a 66.7. Okay, and we talked about when Litecoin was making this triangle, right? Making this triangle. Right, we said like Litecoin volatility gonna increase very, very soon. That time you could do this, right, or you could do that, depending on your aggressiveness, right? Depending on your aggressiveness. But you can see extremely bearish, a big sell-off. Okay, big sell-off. Now it is making a flag. The flag can you know, push a little higher, but you know, eventually we're gonna look for this move to like a low $50 to a $52 to $54 range. Okay, $52 to $54 range. And let's take a look at where the what fib level you could be looking for, right? 0.618 going to be $54, right? So Litecoin dropping to $54. That was our target when Litecoin was right around this area, but look at it right now. Okay, it is basically, you know, coming back down to 50% pullback. That's where we got this reversal pattern, right? It could go all the way up again, give us another fake out, but we're gonna have to get this $54, right? Get this $54 Litecoin. And we talked about when Litecoin was 66, guys, 66. So let's move on to Bitcoin Cash, and then we're gonna take a look at King XRP. Okay, Bitcoin Cash, nice sideways correction at 382, and Bitcoin Cash similar move, right? We talked about it in this area, right? You take a look at it. We said Bitcoin Cash, we're looking for this drop. Okay, this is what we are looking for, right? But look at it. It gave us our second alternative. We said like we could push higher, but eventually we're going to look for this move. Okay, now we drop down to, you know, 382. Price is holding strong. So next level we're going to look for Bitcoin Cash is going to be roughly around like a 247 to 248 level. Okay, current price, you know, 264. Okay, so what type of drop we're going to be looking for? That's also another 7% drop. So it could coincide to BTC dropping 5 to 7%. Also Bitcoin Cash dropping down to 50% pullback, which is a nice area of resistance, support. Basically we could be looking for. We got this double bottom at a, you know, 247 before pushing high, right? So Bitcoin Cash, basically look for this box. We don't have any target for Bitcoin Cash, but we're looking for this box, right? That was the first target, we hit it, right? So if you shorted Bitcoin Cash from like 300 down to 266, took profit, it could be a nice short opportunity again down to 247. Okay, you could even like a short with your profits, right? Not even your capital, just with your profit. So let's move on to EOS. EOS is giving us tough time. We're still not into the green box, and if you've been watching the last 2 weeks, you know we got this setup from EOS, right? So we said like EOS gonna push up, it's gonna give us a three-way move down. We didn't quite hit it. Okay, we're still not into this box. I'm still waiting for EOS. to get inside this box all the way down maybe to like even $3, right? Which is a roughly 10% drop, okay? Which is roughly a 10% drop, as low as 10% drop before we look for this 17 to 20% move, right? But let's see if EOS is gonna give us that move. Let's see, because EOS got a basically a different pattern, even though all of them they got the same bottom formation, 3 up, 3 down, very push to the upside. Some of them just move sideways. EOS is just making a very complex pattern, but it is still looking good, right? It is still looking good. So let's move on to ICX and ADA before we go back to BTC. ICX BTC actually holding very strong. Still doesn't want to drop, but eventually it's going to drop. I don't like this pattern on the lower degree, the daily. I don't like this pattern. Okay, I'm still looking for this move right around like a 1600 sats. Or like 15 to 14 cents in dollar value before we're looking for this move, right? So I'm looking for this move from ICX, at least like first target going to be like a 27, second target going to be like roughly around like a 32 to 33 sats, okay? Not 33 but 3300, this area. Okay, that's the second target. We might get it sometime like in December, or it all depends on volatility. This move we can even get it now, but I wouldn't expect it like to get it in November. But let's say if like we're going to drop back down to low 1600 sats, right? If we get that move anywhere between like 1700 to 1600 sats for a possible very aggressive move to the upside, right? So like it's going to be roughly about, on the lower degree 3 days chart you could look for a 200% move, but on a 3 days chart you could argue this, you could go all the way up to that area. But target 1, target 2, that's your T1. That's your T1, and then we could focus on T2 later on in this area, okay? T2. And then after that you could focus on T3 up to that area. But let's just focus on this area of roughly around like 25 to 27 sats, and then we're going to look for like a 31 to 33, and then we could look for like a 5,000 level later on, right? But ICX, I think like we're going to get one of these moves. We're going to get this move at some point in the near future, right? In the near future. ADA similar move, still like a ADA similar move, still looking not so good. We're still looking for like a 11 cents to 12 cents ADA before another drop and another push to the upside. But let's see at what what price, at what time frame we're gonna get this move, right? It is just a corrective move. As up to now, it is just a corrective move. But after we get to this area, I'm just speculating regarding like the further move to the downside. This move, I'm just speculating right now, just for illustration. But we can get a bull flag in this area, a continuation pattern, another 3-way before dropping. But let's just focus on like ADA going to roughly around like 11 to 12 cents first, and after that we're gonna look for a possible bull flag or a possible reversal, right? So yeah, you're welcome, Iceman. So let's go back to BTC, King BTC XRP first. Okay, XRP guys, we talked about it, 25 cents. That's the 3 days chart. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily chart, XRP, we talked about XRP dropping to 25 cents, guys, like almost since like XRP since like what, the 5th of November. The 5th of November, like XRP was like 31 to 32 cents, right? You can see we dropped all the way down to 25.3. Okay, we didn't quite hit 25 cents, so but we hit like 25.3. So but it doesn't, I don't think XRP gonna hold strong. If BTC gonna hit our target of 78 to 8100, I don't think XRP going to be saved, right? So it's still gonna drop. So at what price level we're gonna look for XRP to drop? Okay, we're gonna look for XRP to drop right around like a 24.05, right? 24.5, just below this area, 0.618 pullback. Okay, 0.618 pullback. just about this area, okay, 25.6 to roughly 24 cents, right? So it is currently making a, you know, a bear flag in this area. Could push higher to 27 before giving us this move. I talked about it when XRP was making this move. We're gonna get this move. So let's get another, you know, bear flag, a drop down to this area, possible double bottom, and get this move to the upside, right? When BTC is going to the moon to 9K. So, and we talked about it, guys. We talked about XRP going to be dropping off down to 25 cents. That was 25% drop, guys. 25%, right? 20% roughly. 20% drop. Hey, what's up, Kelly? What's up, Iceman? So let's move back to King BTC. Okay, if you guys don't have any question, I'm just gonna call it a day. But as up to now, we should see some baseline starting like this current 3 days candle, or we can see like some further sell off. And we talked about this 3 days candle starting on Sunday. It already started, so the next 3 days going to give us either a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern, right? So let's see. Hakanashi, no reversal pattern on 3 days. You can see all these 3 days candles, they don't have no tails. Okay, the last 1, 2, 3, the last 3 days candle didn't have any. The last 3 days candles doesn't have any candle, doesn't have any tails, right? So hopefully you understand what I mean, but I'm trying to tell you like 1, 2, 3. Okay, all these candles are pretty much 3 days. Okay, they don't have any wick to the upside, right? They only got some big tails, right? So this one is a current one we got. It might not get any wick if like we don't go above like 90, 85, 8600. It's not going to get any wick to the upside. So, and on the 3 days chart, you can see we could not basically sustain any close up below like 7900, like 78, even on 7850, which is like our target. We did not close below it. Okay, we did not close. We just retested it multiple times. That's a strong support, right? 78, roughly 7800. That's a very strong support. That's a very strong support on the 3 days chart. That's one of the reasons, like if we drop even like down to 73 to 74, it might just be a quick wick, just like these, right? On the 3 days on the Hakanashi. So we might not stay there that long. Okay, we might not stay there that long. But that's what we're looking for basically. Okay, that's what we're looking for basically. And you can even look like to your left, you can see how sustainable it is. Like we could not even close below it back in like June, the first week of June, when I told you basically it's going like to the moon, right? If you go watch my live stream June 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, I was telling you BTC is going to 11K. BTC was like $7,000, guys. 7,000. I was telling you that next target is at 11 to 12K. Alright, so keep that in mind. So let's get our target and see how it is gonna look like. So all right, guys, I'm just gonna keep it short. Hopefully, like we got a good 2 weeks forecast, and it's already past the 15. So let's see how the next 15 days gonna play out. All right, next 15 days should be very volatile after the 21st. So very volatile after the 21st. So oh, we didn't talk about 88 BTC. Okay, we didn't talk about 88 BTC, right? 88 BTC, you can see target is 650 sats, and we did talk about it like when 88 was like 480, right? 480 sats. You can see that's the 3 days Hakanashi candles, right? It is looking extremely juicy right now. All right, looking extremely. You can see these type of candles. That's the type of candle you wanna look for when price is pretty much bullish, right? We're not getting any sign of reversal as up to now for 88. So, and it basically dropped 10%. It means like 88 could go up like 15%. It could go up to 15% versus BTC, and could easily hit like a 650 sats, guys. And we've been talking about this like for a very long time. Okay, we've been talking about it like for the last 2 weeks, right? So, all right, guys. Hopefully you guys be ready for the volatility, and hopefully we're gonna hit our target and take it to the moon, right? All right, guys. Thank you for watching.